Hello, this is Kevin Cott. This morning I'll be chatting with Diane Dean, a legacy coach in the ICF Greater Austin chapter. Diane's practice is centered around learning to learn and executive and career coaching. So how has becoming a coach impacted your life?
Well, it's pretty hard to remember not being a coach since I started so long ago. And it is my life. I went into therapy because from the time I was 14, I wanted to be a therapist. I wanted to work with people. I wanted to help people. And as I mentioned, I like the goal orientation that both the NLP brought me and the coaching framework that we have. What is it you want? And how's that going to benefit your life? And one of the other questions I ask is, and how will you know when you get there? What's the evidence that you've achieved your goal? So we can be a little bit less theoretical, I guess, in the sense of we want to do something, we want to get somewhere. That's what coaching is for. So getting my start and starting to work with students and doing academic coaching, what happened that transformed what I do today is that the parents, the teachers, the counselors started asking me to come teach what I do. So I would go and coach the teachers to be coaches or the parents to be coaches. And then business people who heard about it, well, I don't need to learn how to learn. Do you do anything else? And I said, yes, that's executive coaching. I didn't know it was a field. It wasn't at the time. It's about just setting the frame for the work I do, the business I'm in. And so as that evolved, I was asked and met more people in business who had folks that they wanted remediation for. Initially, coaching was considered something to fix somebody. It wasn't chosen for their own professional development, typically.
Overall, what's been the most important change that you've seen in the evolution of coaching?
It's been a gradual change. There were some radical changes in the early days when there were competition coach organizations. So I think the biggest thing was when the several organizations that wanted to be the coach organization were able to integrate or align in a way where we have a united front, where we have consistency in what the expectations are of a coach, what the training is for a coach. Because when I started, there was no coach book. There was no manual of how to do it. In fact, I wrote the manual for the teachers and the parents and things like that. So again, giving it that maturity. It's not a mature organization even yet. Even though it's been a lot of years, I think we can still grow and find some new ways to apply coaching in different contexts, much like I've done with the horse course.
What's the most significant lesson that you've learned from a client?
This may be a common thing that coaches know. What I learned is that people say they want X, and 9 times out of 10, they don't. It is something else. So that's why the questioning processes that I use come in to help us kind of unpeel the onion to see what's the core that's driving that desire that they're requesting. And the 3 questions that I mentioned earlier, what is the outcome you want? How will that benefit you? And what's the evidence that you got that outcome? Help them wander around in their thinking enough to be able to define it for themselves.
What changes would you expect or would you want to see in the future for professional coaching?
I'd like to see more application with things like horses. I have a friend also who uses coaching through art. I think that the principles of coaching is good for management and expand that. And I've done a lot of work in the last 10.5 years with a company here in town who recruited me, training our I don't like to use the word training unless I'm training horses, but working with the professional development of our leaders so that they could coach people instead of having the authoritarian model of management. And that was well received. It was a process. A little more creativity, perhaps. We've got the structure, that's going well, and just expand the community. Really expand the community. I think we have a mutually supportive organization, and just continue that.
Okay, great. I really enjoyed talking with you today.
Thanks
Thanks so
you.
much for spending time with us. Appreciate
It's
it.
my pleasure. Thank you.